Welcome to the CU Scoop. I'm your host, Philip Dukes, aka DukesTheScoop. Check me out on Twitter and Instagram at DukesTheScoop. And please be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. If you would like to become a member, check the description. Go look in the description in this video, and you'll see a link to become a member. We have member-only chats here. We'll have one this week, so excited about that. We had one about 8 days ago, so it's time for another one. So, but yeah, man. So this video, let me preface this video. If you are not a fan of Deion Sanders or Coach Prime, this video probably ain't for you. This is really for people. If you aren't a fan of accountability, if you aren't a fan of moving forward, if you aren't a fan of a father or fatherhood in our community, this video probably ain't for you. So as you probably saw by the thumbnail in the title, got a chance to have a really good conversation with Coach Prime yesterday, actually. Today's Monday, so we talked on Sunday for a little while. Of course, the biggest news in sports media over the past 2 weeks has been Shedeur Sanders and his draft slide. And so I got to spend some time with Coach Prime on that and some other subjects and some personal subjects on my end, not his, where, we were able to spend some time and talk. And so just to get started, I think that, so if you guys don't know, when I said it before, if you follow me, you know that when Coach Prime took me into his mentorship program, he was like, okay, look, dudes, football wise, that's my thing. I'm married to the game, right? But he said, but I also had a very extensive media career. And he said, I can give you some gems, and whatever you need from me, you got it. So I asked for the knowledge, right? And I'm like, man, give me the game. I figure out the hustle. He said, bet. And he told me, he said, look, before you take a job, and I know I done said this a million times, but just for anybody who's new here, he told me, he said, before you take a job, I want you and Bucky to put some work together and see, and let Bucky kind of show you the ropes as far as being an independent. I said, cool. And so when the job started calling, I didn't take. I mean, I'd say at least three for sure opportunities. I was like, I'm gonna try it. And then it worked. The video started working. I was able to pay bills doing this. And I'm in month 4. I just had my biggest month ever in April. So, but I said all that to say, through our relationship as we built it out, I could count on a phone call about every 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. Sometimes it might be 3 or 4 calls, but I can count on one phone call between 6 to 8 weeks because he said if I don't phone call, visit, whatever, and it's about what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, not just media wise, but as a man. So in this particular month, I was thinking this probably ain't gonna be. I probably won't hear from him for a minute because, we could put the mentorship on the pause because what's going on with Shedeur and, family wise and all of these things. I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna hear from him. So I wanted to give kudos to Coach Prime because everything that he has going on, he didn't forget that 6 to 8 week call or whatever it is that we have, just to check in to see how I'm doing and what opportunities are coming my way. And, it's a call, a real brotherhood mentorship, and he didn't forget it. So the call comes. We talk. I'm at my dad's house. I got poor reception at my dad's house. My pops, my sister ended up cooking yesterday. I'm gonna talk about the food in a minute, but so I leave and then we wrap when I get to the crib. And we go over we talk a little bit of time about the Shedeur stuff and, how Shedeur fell in the draft and me talking to him, and Coach Prime told me, he said, Dukes, chill. I know it sounds cliche. The man said, you got to relax, Dukes. God got this. He said, the same God that placed me in Atlanta, placed Shador in Cleveland. And I said, well, Coach, they could have placed him a little earlier, don't you think? Because Prime says, man, you can't tell God how to do his job. See, he's God. I'm not. Nobody, the powers that be aren't. There's one sovereign God. God placed my sons, my children, where they are supposed to be. I got a job to do. And when he said he's got a job to do, I'm thinking, okay, now he got to get Shador right. Now, dudes, I got to go win the Big 12. And then we get into the recruiting, the guys that he's bringing in, the plans that he has, the coaching staff, like concepts, like things that he's seeing for this coming class. I am blown away. I'm thinking, imagine you having a son that, let's say at the very least, Shador drops out of the first round and into the second. Talking about the top 5 pick, that's already crazy, right? But let's just say, I'm playing devil's advocate here. Let's say he drops it to the second round. I think everybody's cool, right? He goes into the third. Oh, no, something wrong. You make it out of Friday night into the 4th round? Hey, man, what's going on? The 5th round, we're talking about a public beatdown, basically. And this man, Coach Prime, is over and done with. Dukes, we ain't got to spend no time on that. How you doing? He's taken care of. He's good. I'm worried about this season. I got to get these boys coached up. I got to get this team right. I spend enough time doing that. God's got everything else. I spend enough time. So I raised them. I got 105 more sons that I had to get ready to raise and get ready for this season and get them ready for life. I was blown away. In particular, he said something that was really strong too. And I'm taking excerpts of the conversation, about a 30-minute convo. I'm taking the smallest excerpts I can just to give you guys a glimpse to. Because, and the reason I'm doing this is because I got a lot of texts and DMs about, is Coach Prime okay? How is Prime doing? Have you talked to Prime? My DMs, like, Coach Prime, I saw Coach Prime, he didn't look happy. He looked stressed. He looked tired. Man, when you talk about, if I had to describe the conversation, rejuvenated, reinvigorated, those are, when you talk about somebody who is fired up for greatness, and there's a turn, like we used to talk about this. Ray Lewis, very motivational brother, especially when it comes to sports. Ray Lewis would always say, you got to be pissed off for greatness. If I had to summarize where these guys are, they ticked off for greatness. Coach Prime talk like that. But those Sanders boys, right now, I believe that's the mentality overall. There isn't a victim mentality. Now, we saw the victimization on the outside. So it's like, bro, they got them. And they took a belt to them folks. Like, why would they do that publicly? They tried to. But see, this is the difference. When the confidence isn't counterfeit, you can't break it. See, look, if my confidence was not what it was, if I wasn't confident, You could tell me I don't need to do something, and then I would say, I would let anybody tell me I don't need to do it, and then I wouldn't do it, or I wouldn't be able to do it because in the back of my mind, I would be replaying this person telling me no. But when the confidence is real, you know that whatever comes your way, you're going to be okay. That Sanders confidence is real. Coach Prime's confidence is real. He's moved on to the season. I want a whole lot for me to say. You know how you like? I think it's some people that should there some outrage, but the piece that Prime is operating in right now is not that he's ignoring the fact that Shedeur is mistreated. It's the fact that he believes that there's a testimony coming out of this. It's the fact that his faith allows him to be comfortable in the midst of a storm. You know, from someone who's myself been through a few storms, and for someone who considers myself to be an A1 dad, I don't know how it would feel to watch something like that happen, but I can imagine. And for him to mention to have a time to vent, and he say, no, let's talk about we got to win this Big 12. His excitement to be great, his excitement to get back on the saddle and say, hey, and let me rephrase that. Because he didn't get off the saddle. All he did was took what the league gave him, and instead of fussing, crying, going public, doing all of this other stuff, he didn't do nothing. This man went back to work. He went back to work. One of the biggest recruiting weekends in Colorado history this weekend. We got videos coming about that too, but he went back to work. As a leader and as a father, subliminally, he gave that same message to his children. It's time to work. And that is what they're doing. Look at the Shedeur videos. He is working. Shiloh is working. Like, it's time for work. So I say this. The part of the conversation, and I know I'm far from a saint, but my faith in God is real. And I know recently I had a conversation on live that didn't really show my best side as a Christian. And if I offended anybody, I want to apologize for offending you. I don't want to apologize for the sentiment, but I do want to apologize if I offended anybody with some of the words used and my attitude, for sure. Even, but I'll say this. It reminds me a lot of the story of Job. If I can, yesterday was Sunday. I'm going to give y'all a little mini sermon and we get out of here. With Job had it all. And the devil said, all right, the only reason Job continues to be a faithful servant is because he has everything. He said, let me take some of that away. Let me strip Job of what he has, and let's see how faithful he is. Okay? Job goes through hell and remains faithful. And if there's any lesson in this for all of us, if we're always in control and if things always go our way, where is our faith? How do we exercise it when things always go our way? So I think if I learned anything, and if you guys can learn anything from this situation, and from my convo with Coach, understand, God don't live on this earth. Well, he does. Let me say this. God, he's with us every day. But God is not in the, right now, God is not in the flesh form. God is not a human. God is omnipotent. He's up there. He's all around. He's a force. So no man, regardless of who it is, has the power to change outcomes. It's God. Even a man that does do great things, he does it under the grace of God. So we can't forget who's God. And I think that's one of the things that Coach Prime really drove home to me yesterday was that, like, hey, dog, no matter what, you got to keep your eyes up there. No matter what goes on. He said, I got to do the same thing. He said, man, I got to move on because I got stuff to do. You know, I got a purpose and I got responsibilities. And to hear him talk about how excited he was, after all of this, to hear him talk about how excited he was for the season, I think the Big 12 need to be on alert for sure. I'd say that to say the least. All right, y'all. So y'all just remember, man, if anything, keep God first. You feel me? You know, sometimes we fall short of the glory, but all you can do is just, you know, get back right. So yeah, man, if you would like to contribute to the channel, hit the subscribe button. And also, if you'd like to become a member, go to the video description and you'll see the link. Man, I appreciate y'all, man. I got way more Colorado content coming. Got some Auburn content coming. Got some UGA content coming. We got some culture content coming. So, hey, man, I appreciate y'all. I'll see you soon, for sure.